Michael, your first defeat as Manchester United boss against Newcastle's 10 men. Did you expect more from your side tonight?
Yeah, we're not happy with the way we played the game tonight. I think it was the way the game panned out. I think we had in our hands largely, but credit to Newcastle. I thought the way they approached the game, I thought we knew it was going to be a tough game here, but we navigated the game to be in a position where we felt we should kick on, and we didn't really. So yeah, bitterly disappointed. Why
can it be so tricky facing a side with 10 men?
I don't think it was the 10 men. I just don't think we just didn't play good enough tonight. So we can't make any excuses for that. I think we all take responsibility for that, and we know.
You've shown so much character in a lot of your games so far. Why was that lacking?
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay.
It was just the quality and the performance. It wasn't character or wanting to win or anything like that. It's easy to throw that just because you don't win a game of football.
What was it about the performance that was lacking tonight then? What were you missing?
It was just general things. The quality, we weren't there, you know, and credit to Newcastle. They deserve to win tonight, so it hurts me to say that, but that's how it was, and we need to get back to working and be better for the next game.
Does it feel like a one-off game that you've had this really off day?
We've lost one game, all right, so we haven't played well enough, but in the grand scheme of things, we're in a decent position, you know, so tonight hurts because we don't like losing games, but we'll be better for the next one.
How do you ensure this then doesn't disrupt all of that good momentum that you've built up?
So you've got to get back at it and work hard and do the things that we did to win the games we've won, you know, and we can do that. We're a good team, we've got good players. Tonight wasn't for us.
Big game next at Old Trafford, and it's up against Aston Villa. You've got a 10-day break until that game. How do you plan to use that time with the team? Yeah,
just like any other week. We win a game, we lose a game. It doesn't change the feelings. Of course it does, and then we got to learn from it and we got to get better from it. But it's listen, we've had a lot of praise lately, and the boys deserved it. And tonight we're disappointed, but it doesn't change how we approach the next game. You know, we've got everything to play for, and we'll have a good week. We'll work hard, we'll learn, and we look forward to the next game.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Michael.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right from the off, I didn't think they had the right energy. I didn't think they used the ball very well. Even when Newcastle had 10 men, possession-wise was almost 50-50. When the team has one less player, you should see that. You know, you have to make the pitch big. Like Eddie said, they were going to come inside, give them the wide areas. So you should have a man advantage there. I don't think they were aggressive enough. I don't think they tackled enough. Only really in the last 10 minutes did they put a little bit of pressure on Newcastle, and it felt like a goal could come. But to be fair to Carrick, you know, he's been brilliant since he's come in today. Thought against West Ham, they're a little bit flat.
Do you think that's been coming, that result,
possibly,
in the last couple of performances?
But you know what, they've been finding a way to win games differently, and I think that's been a credit to Michael and the coaching staff and the players that, you know, the first two were on the counter and then they dominate possession a little bit, then they get some late winners or late equaliser, and I thought today I think it felt like they expected to win, and they just thought it would happen, and I thought Eddie and Newcastle did a really good job of getting after Man United early. They were very aggressive, they pressed them. I thought they used the ball very well, and I just thought United just didn't have that fluidity with the ball, and I didn't think they were aggressive enough without it. And I'm sure Michael will say to the boys, look at the clips, and then they'll be better for it. That game against Aston Villa next week is massive, because that you think about what Chelsea did today at Villa Park, and you see the fixtures coming up. I mean, that 3, 4, 5 race is going to be massive. And for these teams, you think about Villa, Chelsea, Man United, Champions League football is almost everything at the moment.
Why do you think they weren't able, Shay, to take advantage of the man advantage that they had for the whole of the second half?
I don't know. I think especially in forward areas, it lacked a bit of a spark of Cindy Owen off there a wee bit. That Bruno wasn't involved. He was involved a lot more towards the end of the game, but whatever way Newcastle set up didn't allow him to sort of get on the ball so much and dominate, you know, the possession as he's done. But what I would say on the Man United thing is they've lost a game of football. It's not the end of the world. I think Michael Carrick spoke really well after the game. You know, you don't want to sort of media pile-on now. He's not the right man for the job after one defeat. This is the Premier League. This is St James's Park. This is a tough place to come at the best of times. And Newcastle had a huge response tonight. So again, as they keep level heads, where they're at from where he took over the football club, sitting in third in the Premier League, like, so it's not all doom and gloom after one result. Michael, as Owen rightly says, he lifted the team. He's got, 11 days, I think he said, before the next game. He's got plenty of time to work on a game plan for the next game, but just sort of keep calm heads, I think, with the manager and maybe the people, the powers that be as well.
You two are the coolest guys in... Yeah, what a night it was for the Geordies here, Shay. And that noise at the end, they've been waiting a long time for that, because 3 games without a win here is a long time for these fans. It's been such a fortress.
Yeah, we talk about the atmosphere all the time, don't we? And the last 3 home games have been disappointing. So it was huge to get that win. Actually, the end of the first half today was hectic, and the end of the second half was hectic. It was, if you look at in the cold light of day, I'm sure when Eddie looks back at it, Newcastle deserved the victory 100%. Even with 10 men, they looked a better team, and I'm sure Eddie's extremely proud for his performance.
And we can ask him himself. Here is Eddie Howe. Congratulations, Eddie. Good to see you. Shay was just saying about how much you deserved that victory tonight. How much did you need that? How much did St James's Park need that?
Yeah, I think we all needed it. I think Shay knows better than anybody the sort of the healthy pressures that you face here. Our recent form in the Premier League's not been what we want it to be, so we knew the importance of today's game, and even more so probably with the sending off. It turned into a really famous victory for us, I thought.
What can you say about that goal from Will Asula, and what did you say to him when he came on?
I said to him, well, I gave him his tactical instruction, but it's funny, I was just saying to Will afterwards that we worked on, or Will worked on this with me and the coaches, and I'm not taking any credit for it. Will deserves all the credit.
Take it, Eddie, take it.
No, because everybody had gone in, and he went, I want 10 more balls. And it's an actual mirror image of the goal that he scored. And I think I'm a great believer in the coaching process, but you need the players that want to improve. And Will's got a real great thirst for his own individual development. And that when you see someone put the work in and then deliver what he's delivered there in a key moment, I'm full of praise for him. Because
he's missed quite a bit of football with injury this season from November to January. Did that kind of feel like a bit of a coming-of-age moment for him in a Newcastle shirt? Yeah, because I think he sort of made that step before, and then he got injured just at the time when we felt he was going to really push on. He's got all the attributes. He's big, 6'3", he's good in the air, he's strong, quick, and he can finish. So hopefully that's a second coming for him, and he doesn't get any more injuries and can stay fit, because he's got all the potential to be anything he wants. I was just going to say, well, before the break I said about when Ramsdale made that unbelievable save, that was a point I thought guaranteed. I didn't expect Will to go up the other end and score the winner, but again, it was a big call before the game. We didn't speak to you about it. I suppose I'm not saying it's justified, because I know Nick Pope's a great goalkeeper as well, but it's a big moment like that. That save, especially that one to the top corner, was world class from Ramsdale. Yeah, I thought he did really well today. I mean, the saves speaks for themselves, but I thought he gave us good control with his feet as well. Yeah. He's an experienced goalkeeper, England international. This won't faze him. This is an opportunity for him. And you're looking for people, whatever position they play, to grab the opportunity. And we probably haven't done that well enough in recent weeks, but he can hold his head up today and know that he's put in a great performance. Yeah. He said he was ready. He found out this morning that he was starting. When did you make the decision? Probably this morning, really. I mean, I think you always have an inkling maybe for what you're going to do in the next game, but I like to sort of check myself and make sure I'm doing the right thing for the team. I thought, yeah, it's an unbelievable save. Looks better there than it did live. But I felt it was right. He deserved his opportunity. I think he's been training really well. I always look at training as a great gauge for how I think they're going to play when players get the opportunity in the team, and I'm delighted for him personally as well. What was the second half game plan with 10 men? Because I guess the biggest compliment you can have is that it was hard to know who had 10 men in the second half. Off the ball was to be compact, give them the wide areas, a lot of sliding and shuffling across, making sure we had good distances between our 3 units, and to try and be a counter threat and still a threat in behind. I still think, even though you have 10, you've got to try and give the opposition a problem. I felt we did that. The players delivered it really well, slowed the game down to a degree. We didn't want it sort of end to end. We wanted to play with real structure and just try and wait for a moment. We're really relying on set plays or counter attacks, and thankfully we got one we will at the end. There was a lot of anger from the crowd in here at half-time. What was your view on the sending off, with Ramsey being sent off for simulation? Yeah, I thought it was really harsh. I think you've got to be really clear that the intent is to dive to win a penalty, and I think he's fallen over rather than tried to dive and con the referee. I think he's just lost his footing. The first one there, that's probably a yellow card. But I don't think, knowing JJ as I do, I don't think he's that kind of lad. And I think he's actually sort of lost his footing more afterwards, maybe anticipating contact.
Yeah, I think, to be fair to myself, Shay, Ali, everybody thought it was probably harsh. I think maybe because he goes down after taking a couple of steps, maybe they think he's died when he probably really hasn't. Like you said, he probably anticipated the contact, didn't he? But you must have been so proud of the players. I thought from the off, you just had more energy. You got after United, pressed them. And really, you were probably quite unlucky even the first half. Even actually second half, you probably even better with 10 men, which was quite remarkable at this level.
Yeah, I thought we did really well in the first half. I thought we were quite fluid with the ball. We were back to combining and playing as a team, playing in partnerships. So I was really pleased, apart from the last bit. I felt we deserved the goal lead at half-time, and we sort of had that, and then they scored from a free kick, which I personally didn't think was a free kick either. So it was one of those days where very easy for the players at half-time maybe to feel sorry for themselves, especially after the recent run we've been on. But I think it was real collective mental strength to regroup and produce the second half that we did.
And what can this result, this performance give you going into such a tough run of games?
Yeah, I think we needed it. We spoke before the Everton game that we wanted to go into the period of games that we had coming up in really good form, and I think we'd won 4 out of 5. There was a good feel, and then that game comes and we leave with the opposite feeling. So it's really important we grab some momentum back, and we want to enjoy the games that we've got coming up. We want to perform and we want to try and win them. You're only going to do that if you're playing well. So today's a big step to helping us do that.
Eddie, thanks for coming out to join us. Well done.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Enjoy that one tonight.
All the best. Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, hugely significant, Shay. What do you think it can give them heading into that Manchester City game in the FA Cup at the weekend?
The key, as we spoke with Thierry beforehand, he was very calm about the dip in form here at home in the Premier League. He just beat Man United, you know, with the last kick of the game, with 10 men for a large part of the, you know, for all the second half, and he's still very calm. So I think he'll prepare for Man City at the weekend in a calm sort of manner as well, as best he can. You know, it depends who's fit, who's injured and all that kind of stuff. But I just think he always seems to get the message right. You know, he never seems to get too high or too low in anything. And I think that's a great trait of a brilliant manager. And again, the fixtures come thick and fast now. It's Man City, then Barcelona, so that they're really, really tough. But again, the boost, even Eddie himself, he maybe didn't show it so much there, but the boost he'll get and the team will get from today's performance will be massive going into them games. And
great, Owen, to hear him talking about Asula wanting extra training, extra balls, and then seeing that pay off in a game.
Yeah. Well, the thing is as well, obviously, with the situation with Baltimore or Vissa even, there's an opportunity there, I think, for somebody to step in and play. But I thought every call he made today came off beautifully. Obviously, the crowd were right up from the start, but I thought the boys, the team played terrific with the ball and without the ball. And that will give him a lot of confidence going into these games. I know the massive games against top opposition, but I think that performance today, especially with 10 men, I think it will give the whole group confidence. They can beat anyone when they're at their best.
Yeah.
So let's remind you of the events at St James's Park. 10 men of Newcastle, after 2 yellow cards for Jacob Ramsey, Michael. That was the first on Casemiro.
Well, one of the simplest decisions of the day. Shirt pull, can't get away with that. So that's a definite yellow card. The second one was a little bit more controversial. Here it is. Make your own mind up there. I think it is a dive. I think it's a late reaction. I think the goalkeeper pulls his arms away. He can definitely stay on his feet and sort of last minute decides to dive. I don't think he has many complaints, to be honest.
So that was 10 men, but they then got a penalty, Ray.
Yeah, again, Gordon, very direct, like he usually does, cuts inside, slight touch there with a knee. A little bit harsh as well. I know Fernandes wasn't too happy, but they got the decision. And Gordon straight down the middle, and a real. And this is the equaliser. This is a bad goal to give away. You know, just before half time, you can go in 1-0. This is like well into stoppage time. Great ball in as Fernandes always does, and Casemiro getting across his man. Defender be pretty poor, and then Ramsdale. Here's a couple of his saves and some fantastic saves. This was a point blank. You could argue maybe he should have gone for that corner, but you've got to give the goalkeeper credit there. Absolutely brilliant.
How good was Bruno Fernandes' pass in there? It was unbelievable. He was spraying the ball everywhere tonight. But what about this? In the dying minutes of the game, substitute comes on. You're almost thinking, what's he going to do? Is he going to go to the corner? Should he cross the ball? What should he do? But you know, when you're a substitute, you need to make an impact. You're always going to be greedy. Asula there throws his leg over, cuts inside. Yes, you can blame some of the defending from Manchester United, but what a finish. Sets it outside the post, curls it in. Absolutely stunning finish.
So defeat for the first time for that man.